It is with great pleasure that we welcome in one of Cleveland's best, Zydrunas Ilgauksas, the great Cavs player who this year receives the Greater Cleveland Sports Awards Lifetime Achievement Award. And as a past winner myself, I can now officially say we're on the same team together, Z. Congratulations.
Thank you, Jim. Good
What
to be
is
here.
it? It's great to see you, and you look fantastic. What is it like to get the call and you receive that? You're being recognized for a lot of great work in the city, and the people in the city just adored watching you play.
Thank you. I was surprised and obviously very happy and honored, and just finding out more about the award as we go through the process and seeing all the accomplishments that people achieved before me that received the award. I mean, it really makes you feel humbled.
Yes, it does, and it's a humbling night, I have to tell you. It's a great night. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. When you arrived in Cleveland in 1996, right?
Yes.
What did you ever expect to be able to spend as many years, 99% of your career with the Cavaliers?
No, I didn't. I really didn't know much about the city. I got drafted and then had to look it up on the map where it was. And a month later, I was on the plane and came here. And the rest is history, and the city's been so great to me and my family. We still live here in the area. We're raising our kids here.
And that's really something, that you do that. Now, there was a time where a lot of the older Browns players, before the team moved, a lot of the older Browns players would stay around the area because they made such a connection with the fans. Not so much with the other teams, the Cavaliers or the Indians, although some are doing that a little bit more. But what made you say, I'm going to throw down some roots here in Cleveland?
I think just the city, it's really similar to where I'm from in Lithuania. It's a blue-collar city, very simple, nice, normal people that go to work, raise their families, really not a lot of glitter. And, we lived in Miami for 2 years, and after 2 years, my wife looked at me, she goes, we got to go back. Like, we can't.
Cleveland, yeah.
So, and, just a lot of people that raise their kids the same values we want to install in our kids, and it makes it a lot easier. And, the weather is the same like back home. And I just really enjoyed being here.
You went through every phase that the Cavaliers organization and franchise could go through, right?
Yes.
Rebuilding, low on the totem pole. Get LeBron James when he comes out of high school. All of a sudden a surge. LeBron leaves. Okay, you've gone through every part of it. What was it like traveling through all those twists and turns and ups and downs?
It was hard at times. I had a lot of injuries, and I think that's another part why I stayed so close to the city. Usually when your basketball season ends, 8 months, everybody leaves, everybody goes home,
Sure.
and nobody really stays in the city in the off season. And I was injured a lot, so I had to stay in the city to do my rehab and to get stronger and better. So for the first 3-4 years, I never went home. I stayed here, all throughout all those years. I think I just accomplished a lot of relationships that I built, a lot of people, good people that I got to know, doctors, rehab specialists, all that other stuff, and then just kind of ingrained me more into the city's DNA, and I wanted to stay here more.
What was the basketball side of it like? You were on teams that struggled to win, then on teams that couldn't be beaten.
I think the thing that I took away the most, just because I was on the teams that was so bad. I mean, one year we won 17 games before we got LeBron. We got the worst record in the NBA, and but I could appreciate when we became better and then good eventually. Yeah. I could appreciate all those times because I went through dark times and I saw how it can be on the other side. So I never took it for granted. And I just remember telling the guys on the team, take it in each day at a time. Don't take this for granted because this will never last forever.
Absolutely. What is it like when LeBron has described you as one of his all-time greatest teammates?
Well, he's being generous, but I think he appreciated it because when he came to the Cavs, he was just 18-year-old kid and, a little bit probably scared and his eyes wide open. He didn't know what to do in a lot of times, but try to take him under my wing and show him how to be professional and how to do stuff the right way. And he always had a really good head on his shoulders, so you didn't really have to do anything with him or get upset or anything like that. He was always very driven himself.
You're raising a family here in Cleveland.
Yes.
You're doing a little coaching too over at St. Ignatius. But the real big coach thing is you're raising your 2 sons here in Cleveland. And the job of dad, different from the job of center in the NBA, isn't it?
It's a lot harder.
Is it harder?
It's a lot harder. the biggest part I miss about not playing is my naps, because I always had a built-in 2-hour nap before the game, and that was part of the job. And right now, I don't have that. And but I enjoy getting up early. I enjoy making them breakfast. I enjoy packing them lunch. My wife still does the most, but I try to help out what I can. And just being around, I miss their early childhood with all the traveling, and then when I worked in front office, so I wasn't around a lot. I miss birthday, I miss holidays and everything else.
Sure.
And to be here now, to see them play sports and to see them every day grow up, I enjoy it, and really just take it one day at a time, and it's amazing how fast they grow up.
Yeah, that's true. Do you enjoy the coaching?
I
Coaching
do.
at the high school level?
I do.
What are the kids like when you walk in?
I think they're used to it by now.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of old news, huh?
I can walk to campus and nobody stops me enough if somebody says hello. But people that are affiliated with Ignatius, I didn't know at the time, but they know that they raise and they produce really good young men. And you go in there, they shake their hand, they look you in the eye.
They do.
They work. They work really hard, so you don't feel like you're wasting your time. They're really thirsty for information. They ask all the questions. They all went back and looked at YouTube videos of me playing, because none of them probably remember by now. So, but
Oh, I don't know. I think you're shortchanging yourself there. Greatest moment for you as a Cav was what?
greatest moment as a Cav, as a player, probably the year we went to the finals.
That game against the Pistons,
Yes.
when you eliminated the Detroit Pistons finally, there was an epic fifth game. I mean, how many overtimes was
Yes.
that? Okay, that you won at the
I
Palace.
remember.
You came back on a Saturday night, and I mean, you guys were ready. A lot of people thought, well, maybe Detroit will, maybe the Cavs aren't ready yet to get to the finals. Maybe Detroit will come back, win that game, and go back for a
game
seventh game,
seven.
because that had happened the year before. But boy, that night, the Cavs were not going to be denied, and that was delirium in that place, wasn't it?
I know it was special, just because for 3-4 years we couldn't get over Detroit, and they were the better team, they were the tougher, they were the older team, and then we just felt like that was our year. And once we won the Game 5 in Detroit, we really knew that there's no way we're going to go back to it.
I want to ask you this, because everybody has gone through this now in Cleveland because it was so championship starved. Okay, so the night that Kyrie hit the three, and they won the seventh game, where were you? How did you feel?
I was in Europe, actually. I was on a golfing trip with my buddies. So I was in Scotland. I was watching it first at the pub. Then they closed the pub because of the time difference.
There you go. All right, understandable.
And then we went back to the hotel and we watched it on TV. And it was weird, you felt so happy, but you felt also so removed in a different country that really doesn't care about basketball that much, and you had nobody to hug or to talk to. I just remember it was like 5 or 6 in the morning, and my phone would never stop vibrating, just kept going all the friends from Cleveland. So, and I came back, actually, it was like 2 days after the parade, so I didn't get to experience. But I was really happy for the city, just being here for so many years and knowing how many great people live here and how much they wanted it.
Yeah.
It was really good.
You know how they always say in the song, New York is the city that never sleeps. Cleveland did not sleep, I don't think, for about a week after he hit that shot.
Good, they deserved it. I mean, it's wait for so long, and then I'm glad that out of all the sports team, Cavs were the first one able to deliver that.
Well, listen, you really know you've made it, okay, in sports, when people know you by your first name. People know Michael Jordan as Michael. People know LeBron as LeBron. But when they know you just as an initial, Z, you are really on a special level. What is that like?
I mean, it's great. Like I said before, people in the city were so great to me. I mean, everywhere I go, even now. And they polite. They also give you a space, but they also want to talk and see how you're doing and all the other stuff. So, I mean, I don't hide. I go to the grocery stores. I go to the markets. I go to the bookstores. I go to the sporting events, the concerts. And, one of the reasons we stay here wasn't because of the weather, was because of anything else. We stay here because of the people, and the people in the city are great.
Z, congratulations. I'm really happy
Thank
for you.
you so
It's great
much,
seeing
Jim.
you.
It's great seeing you too.
Thanks.